One. Hello, my name is Bryce Tubbs. With me today is Haley Helveston. She's a sex and relationship coach, and she helps women feel safe in their bodies and connect to their sexuality. I'm extremely excited to be able to, share her story with you guys and really have a great conversation. Thanks so much, Haley.
Hey, yes, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Excellent. Is there anything else that you'd like me to add to that introduction?
Yeah, really, it's just about helping women connect to their bodies and have a healthy relationship with them. So, yeah.
Everybody has a story. What was life like before you got into coaching? And what was the catalyst or events in plural, that brought you into this field?
Yeah, I think for me, it was because I didn't really have that great of relationships. And I was never really sexually fulfilled. And so I think that they always say, like, your pain is your purpose. For me, it was the fact that I wasn't able to have an orgasm because I was on an antidepressant and birth control. And so it really led me through this journey of holistic health and then being a health coach, which then led me to doing sex and relationship coaching. So I think it's really, sexuality is that one area where people don't want to talk about, and so I think it's fascinating. I love studying it. And I think that it's, it really does help your life when you are fulfilled sexually. So.
Very cool. So, interesting. So what problems are people trying to solve when they come to work with you? Is it how to get into the relationship, or is it once they're already there, or both? I think we lost her.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. What problems? So I have a client right now. I work with mainly women that are like corporate women who are really high achieving, really successful, but they're unfulfilled in their relationships. And so basically they put everybody before themselves and they don't do any self-care and their sex life isn't that great. And so she came to me a few months ago and we've really been working on helping her tap more into her feminine energy, work on self-care, and just like ways to improve her sex life.
Right. Let me ask you this question. So what, I guess the criteria on makes a good sex life?
Yeah, I think people say, oh, well, the criteria is, did both people have an orgasm? That's it. But I disagree with that. I think the criteria is, did both people walk away from the experience saying it was a good experience? They were fulfilled regardless of whether an orgasm happened or not. Because I think that puts too much pressure on it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, there's everybody has cool stories and stuff. Hopefully that person at the door is okay. But
I know, sorry about that.
That's okay. So let me ask you this question. So why do you think that it's challenging for people to, have the sex life that they want? Is it just from past experiences? Is it like first experience that oftentimes is bad? Does someone bruise their confidence, or what?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. One is because, people do hold on to the past. Like, think about if a woman has past sexual trauma, it's going to be hard for her to move on until she heals from that. But I also think it is the fact that people have such high expectations of the sex life and they expect themselves to be like experts when no one is. And everyone's body is different and everyone likes something different, And so I think that that's such a key thing with really just learning your body and then learning, the partner's body. Yeah. So letting go of expectations.
So let me ask you this question. So how, it's a risque topic. I don't know exactly how far we go with this.
I'm used to talking about it, so.
Yeah, is the audience ready for it? That's the real question. I work with a sex and relationship coach right now, and she was making a webinar, and some of the graphics inside, I'm like, I'm like, oh, you better know that this audience can handle the stuff.
Oh, so funny. Well, that's the problem though with our society, is that we're still not able to talk about it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what causes things like the orgasm gap.
Uh-huh.
Is because we can't talk about it. And so then a woman comes to me and she's like, I've never had an orgasm. Well, yeah, because you're not talking about it.
What about the opposite effect? So you're talking about the girl, can't orgasm. What about if they struggle to make a guy orgasm? Does that also cause a lot of trouble too?
Yeah, I think that does too. But I would also say that there's pressure on both sides.
Uh-huh.
Like I did a video on this recently on Instagram about how people need to enjoy the journey. It's kind of the same with life. Like we're taught so much about how once we earn blank amount of money, then we'll feel this. Once we get this achievement, and it's more and more instead of enjoying the journey.
Let me ask you that question. I'm sorry for cutting you off. Why can't, so everybody talks about, like you achieve this, and then it's always more and then more and more. Why is the more is not also as part of the journey?
It is part of the journey, but I think we are too focused on that instead of enjoying all of it,
Yeah, I think when it becomes like that's the hard stop, or that's like the finality of you got this. Now you have to stop and pause, and you're not happy, and you got to get this. Now you have to stop, and you're not happy. Versus, I don't know, maybe people switched it to being more milestones. And then, because like milestones mean that it's a part of a journey. So I think that's really good observation that you made. I'm really glad that you said that.
No, I agree with the milestones part.
Yeah, because then you can like really change it from destinations to being, hey, those are just pit stops on your journey.
Yes.
Let me ask you, what's the most misunderstood part about a relationship?
People making assumptions. I think that's a misunderstood part, because there's always that thing that like, oh, is this person thinking this? Is this person thinking that? When you don't know until you ask them,
Ooh, here's another question. Well, so sometimes people say stuff they don't mean. Especially like in quarantine, right?
Yes.
So how can you cipher through what somebody's saying versus what they mean?
Well, one of my mentors always says, especially in terms of sexuality and relationships and having a conscious, healthy, monogamous relationship, I think it's integrity, right? If a man says something and does the opposite, that's not good, right? So yeah, so I would say to answer your question, look at someone's actions.
Yeah. Because like even sometimes when you see like friends in a relationship who are arguing, and one person says, you never buy me presents, and then the person in the next couple of weeks starts buying them presents, but the person is still unhappy. But really, maybe underneath what they actually meant was, you never show affection, you don't value, you don't show that you care. So, you know what I mean? Like especially when it comes to stuff like that. So it's not that they were lying, but they weren't accurately able to express what they actually were. Can you talk about developing that awareness to actually know what you really want?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I did a podcast episode on that yesterday with like determining what are people's needs, because a lot of people don't even know what their needs are.
Yeah.
So to answer your question about having awareness, really that's just like spending more time with yourself and figuring out what you need, which, like a lot of times people are so focused on, careers, work, kids, like all this other stuff that it's like, you don't even know what you need.
So, that's even a better thing. So a lot of people, they don't want to spend that time alone or be single or XYZ because of certain things, right? Like it's looked down upon in some places. Sometimes you'll go to like, the in-laws house or like just family events and different things like that. And then the first question you're asked is, so are you guys engaged yet? Are you guys, so can you talk about how to really, be more comfortable in your, I guess, alone or single or finding yourself period?
Yes, I love this question. Yeah, it's I would say being comfortable in the meantime, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that is so key though, because you have to be happy now to receive what you want, right? Like, what is that? I don't know if you're familiar with Abraham Hicks.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I love Abraham. But they always say, I'm happy now, but I'm ready for more, right?
Mm.
So I think that it's so important to, like, what are you focused on? Like, so much, we spend so much of our time focusing on what we don't have. And so, yeah, it's no wonder why we don't have what we want, because you're always focused on what you don't want or what you don't have. And so how can people be happy in the period of maybe before they get engaged, or maybe before they have kids, or maybe while they're single and before they get in a relationship, is find ways to focus more on yourself and going within.
Mm-hmm. Then what do you ask yourself once you're there?
What do you need? What do you like? Because you can't base all of your happiness off another person.
Yeah. Yeah, because right, so I think a lot of people would meditate or would start doing more internal work if they knew, not only if they knew that there was no wrong answers, or if they had, like, some people need that, how to get started.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I also think some people don't want to go in within because it's terrifying. I would say the first thing is just like journal, maybe journal like 2 pages a day, asking yourself, okay, what would my ideal relationship look like? What would it feel like? Because we attract with our feelings.
so you mentioned the word terrified. Now, are people terrified because there's too much noise, or is it because they're terrified of the silence?
Both.
Ooh. Interesting.
Yeah, I think people, because sometimes when I meditate, it's a lot going on too. I think that, yeah, I mean, we have a lot coming at us nowadays, especially, because I think most people are still in quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
I live in a city where I think a lot of it's opened up now.
Oh,
But yeah, that's a lot to deal with.
interesting.
It's just about having compassion for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, well, man, you always leave a great thing, because then I'm like, well, you know, most people, I don't know if people understand what compassion for themselves mean, because like there's such a warped perception on different things. Like, is compassion just the ability to say, this is what I'm feeling now, and that's okay? Or what does compassion look like for people who've never had compassion for themselves?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's why you guys should work with her.
You're so funny. You do want to leave it there?
No.
Oh, okay.
I had a lady, she responded to every question with, that's what I teach my clients how to do. But she didn't actually say.
I'll actually answer the question.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, that's what I teach my clients to do. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so having compassion. So a lot of people don't like themselves, and they have self-hate. So having compassion is your self-talk. Just becoming aware of that. Like, how are you talking about yourself? I mean, how are you, what is the voice in your head telling you? And then how are you speaking about yourself? I would start there.
Wow, you're fun to listen to. You know that?
Oh, thank you.
Because it's like, some people, they speak really slow. Some people speak really fast.
Mm-hmm.
You speak at a very good pace word-wise, but then you kind of pause and kind of let people think about it. But it doesn't feel like you're dragging because when you speak, at a pretty good pace. That's really interesting. Learned something new today. So, kind of switching gear, what does the vision for this year, 5 years, or as far as you want to go look like for you?
Yeah, so for me, I have a podcast, so I would love to grow that. So, and then I would love to start hosting retreats. Now, obviously, I wanted to host a retreat this year, but of course, the coronavirus had different plans. So, yeah, and then just grow one-to-one coaching and courses, and I'm excited for all that.
Nice, cool. Well, I guess we kind of touched on it. But what does success mean to you, or what is it to you?
Well, I'm learning more and more. The success to me is a feeling. It's a feeling of feeling accomplished. It's a feeling of inner peace, of fulfillment, a feeling like what I'm doing actually matters and has an impact on people.
You know, um, how can people either learn more about you, or where can they go to connect with you?
Yeah, so people can find me on Instagram. I'm Haley.Helveston, or you can find me on YouTube or Facebook. I'm on any of the platforms, Haley.Helveston. And then my podcast is called Your Guide to Love on iTunes and SoundCloud.
Can you spell your name for the people who either can't see it or?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. Haley, Haley, Helveston, HELV is in Victor, ESTON.
Nice. I really appreciate your time today, and thanks so much for doing this interview.
No, thank you so much for having me. This is so fun.
Excellent, yeah. And for those watching, we really enjoy your time, and we're really grateful for this opportunity for you guys to see this conversation. If you would like to join a community where people are improving themselves every day and helping others do the same, I recommend that you go and check out our free community. It's basically a mastermind where we come together and uplift each other and support each other every single day. If that is what you have been searching for, go ahead and click on the links either above or below the video. We cannot wait to see you inside the community. And hopefully you enjoyed watching this video as much as we enjoyed creating it. Feel free to hit that share button so other people can get some benefit as well. We'll talk to you soon. We'll see you in the next show, and cannot wait to see you guys later. We're done recording in 3 and 2 and 1, and see ya.